Hello everyone, welcome to our last part of our Learning Google Sheets series, part 17, where we're going to learn how to do some print formatting as well as saving in Excel format. So what I've done is I've actually copied these values kind of down a ways just to make sure that we have enough to populate multiple pages as we're doing this. Now, right away you can kind of see there's a print icon right here. You can also hit Control P. You can go to the File menu, click File, and kind of down at the bottom there's the print. All three of those kind of get you to the same menu. And when you click on that, you have some print settings here. Now, you can print the current sheet. You can do the whole workbook. You can do just selected cells depending on what you have selected. I think I have some down at the very bottom that are selected. Um, Depending on what you want to print, you can kind of select it from there. You can also select the paper size. Most of the time it's going to be just the letter. Page orientation, landscape, or portrait. Depending on how many columns you have, you can kind of change that. If it's multiple, like say if it's kind of off the edge, sometimes you can change it to landscape, fit to width, and that will kind of jam all your data onto one sheet. Makes it a little bit easier to read, and that's something that you can work with and kind of manipulate and see what looks best. You can change the margins to narrow, wide, or do custom. If once again, if you're trying to jam a bunch of columns into one sheet, you can do it that way. Now, as far as formatting, you can either show the grid lines or not. With Google, all the Google G Suite apps, you can have notes and you can show those or not. There's none on here, so they're not going to show up, but you can print those as well. Now, as far as the page order, this is depending on what you're wanting to do and how you want it to look. You can have it print if it's multiple pages across. Like say if you have I don't know, several columns across that you can't fit into one page. Depending on that, what you like, if you like it to go down then over then down, most of the time you probably want it to go over, so you can kind of put those together and what kind of makes sense, on a table or something. You kind of spread those out. Depending on what you're wanting to do, you have the option to either print down and then over then down. And one feature that is missing is printing double-sided. I couldn't find it anywhere. But that would definitely be something that you would want to look at doing down then over then down if it's double-sided, because that would make more sense depending on what you're trying to do. You can also do horizontal, alignment left or right. Most of the time you're going to want it in the center. Same with vertical alignment. You can do top or bottom or center, depending on what you're wanting to try to do. And you can also put a bunch of different options in the header or footer. You can do the page number, the workbook title, sheet name, current date, current time, that sort of thing. And you can also do some custom fields, which we're not really going to get into, but you could potentially put something else in there. But I'm not going to explore that for now. And then you can also repeat frozen rows. So let's actually try that out, because that's something you may want to do. If you click this top row and just kind of highlight it all, we've kind of covered this before. But if you go into, I think it's view, and view the first row. And now you kind of see this is going to freeze that first pane. And so if we go into File, Print, and we look at each page, now you can kind of see each page has the headers on it, which is great, depending if that's something you want to do. You can not have that. You can unclick that, and now it's kind of, depending on what you're looking at, you may get lost. It's probably your best bet to actually repeat those frozen rows, just so everybody on each page knows what they're looking at. And then once you've got everything set the way you want, you just hit next and you can print. I don't have a printer hooked up to this computer right now, so I'm not going to do that. But that's essentially all the print options that you have to your disposal, at your disposal. Now, the other thing that's important to know is like how to save and use this in Microsoft Excel. They're very similar programs and they do work together. And so to do that, it's pretty straightforward. If you're working on your workbook here online, you just would go up here and you would hit the File menu and click Download. And you can see these are your options. And the most popular one would probably be the Excel format there. You just hit this, and it would then save the print formatting and saving Excel format in Excel format, so you can open it in Microsoft Excel. And I do have Excel hooked up to this computer, so if I do click on it, you can kind of see it will pop up in Microsoft Excel. and be pretty much the exact same thing that we were looking at before. And so that's essentially how to print and format in Excel. Thanks for attending the Google Sheets series, and I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you in the next one.